Welcome to the 2012 new Fall Catalogue from Gourmet Village. New concept or a new collection is terracotta. Well, it's not very new, it's been around longer than I have. I mean, terracotta is an absolute classic clay. It isn't glazed. You do glaze the insides. We're going to be doing baking of dips and stuff inside them, but the natural rough imperfections, the feeling of that lovely rough natural clay feeling is incredible. It is slightly porous, so if you use it for a dip chiller, it actually absorbs some of the moisture from the water and helps a little bit with, was it latent heat? Is that the magic word I remember from physics? It helps to keep the dips even cooler. The terracotta collection is selling very well. The big surprise, I'm totally surprised at what it's doing, those little pots with the salsa dip mix or the chili lime or the orange cilantro or the herbs de Provence, those little reusable pots with herbs and spices in, we sold out in the first 2 months. I'm recording this now in early May, and I know they're going to be back in by the end of the month. We'll have plenty for the Christmas season, but they were so popular, they sold out immediately. What else is new on that page? We have a fajita kit. We call it a fajita trio, but it has in there the guacamole mix, the salsa mix, and of course the seasonings to go with the chicken for your fajita. The fajita trio is a great bargain. What a great way to have almost a meal in a box. So look at that terracotta page, look at that collection. Even the dip baker is specially sized that it will take your tortillas. The next page, I'm kind of glad I have a chance to do a video because it's not something that it doesn't sell itself, this next page. Cooking essentials is something which probably belongs in the specialty food store. I don't think every gift store will take it. I don't think everybody will understand what to do with it. There are certain blends that we at Gourmet Village make which are so versatile. I mean, I was talking before about how I use onion chive dip mix at home for everything. Lemon dill dip mix is fantastic with salmon, with fish, with tuna, not just as a lemon dill dip mix. So in this line, in this cooking essentials line, we have these lovely silver foil pouches, the same ones we have our dips in, and they've got a clear back so you can see how good the quality is inside. Each one of these pouches has a story, and I'm not going to tell you 12 stories right now, but there's a thing called a southwestern rub. What is that? It actually is the same seasoning we use in our pulled pork. You can rub it on a steak, you can rub it on lamb chops or on veal, put it on the barbecue, rub it on chicken, rub it on ribs. They're incredibly versatile. Provençal sea salt, I can't even say the word today. Provence sea salt or Provençal sea salt. Finally got it right. It's herb de Provence mixed with sea salt. Is another lovely brand. Go through these, look at them carefully. If you're a specialty food store, if you have customers who've been Gourmet Village lovers for a while, they would love to try these things. There's tons of recipes on our website. We're just upgrading the website right now. So the search engine to search by product, to search by, hey, I've got a lemon dill dip mix, what can I make with it? Go to our new recipes section. This will be ready and up by July, August time. Type in your words, type in lemon dill or whatever product you've got at Gourmet Village, or you can type in southwestern rub. It'll give you all the recipes or lead you to all the recipes that use that particular blend to make it even more versatile for you. Cooking essentials, if you are a chef, if you're a cook, or somebody likes to try, this page is for you. It's not for everybody. Those who love our stuff will absolutely love this page. Brand new collection. I mean, we're now exactly halfway through the catalogue. The Country Village collection is really a bit of nostalgia. After 30 years in the business, Country Village collection is almost going back to our roots. Lemon dill dip, one of our very first. Apple spice, mulling spice, gingerbread cookie spice. All these lovely recipes, all these lovely things in little fabric bags. Real country look. Some people say, well, we're getting too urban with some of our designs. I mean, the page just before, that cooking essentials, is very urban, very black and white. If this is getting back to our roots, this is real village looking collection. It's got cinnamon sticks in it. One of my absolute favourites on there in that juicy photograph is the apple spice pancakes. We used to sell those years ago. They're one of our absolute best sellers. They just absolutely taste, I keep saying absolutely too many times, they taste incredibly good. The dried apples inside, the lovely sort of cinnamon, those sort of apple pie spices with pancake mix. My favourite on that whole page is the apple spice pancake mix. But the ciders, we haven't had apple cider and cranberry cider in our catalogue for a few years. What a perfect time to bring them back in this nostalgia, just for our 30th anniversary collection. It's a lovely cranberry red fabric colour. It goes perfect with all of our cranberry red and our red collection. So in terms of displays in the store or to look good on the counter or the sideboard in your kitchen, the colours are so warm, it's fabulous. What do we do? This is brand new. What do we go with them? We're not trying to sell dip chillers and brie bakers. In this particular case, we have aprons and dinner napkins and placemats. The oven mitt and hot pad are so country feeling, it's wonderful. This is Indian cotton. We have some really good friends who deal a lot in India, and we basically done a special fabric just for us. This is exclusive to us. But look how warm and red. Look at the textures you can see in these lovely photographs that are on this slideshow as I'm talking. Alrighty, let's go back a bit. I'm now on page 38. We brought out stainless steel with the stainless steel brie baker a few years ago. We brought out stainless steel with the beer can chicken. And now, last year we brought out the fajita, just a sizzling fajita cast iron plate. It was an instant hit last summer. This year so far, and again I'm talking in May, it is the #1 bestseller we have so far this year, is our sizzling fajita plate. We're going to come to that in a couple of pages. So what do? We added some more items. We added the griddle, and you can call it a cast iron griddle. It looks like it's for pizzas. It's great, but as well as being good for pizzas, if you're cooking a burger on the barbecue, there's always that burning. Does it stick to the ring? Does it break up? You know, there's all these tricks. Some people put breadcrumbs in them. Some people put egg in them, trying to find ways that their burger won't break up. The simplest solution is cook it on cast iron. Once you've seasoned cast iron properly and you've heated it and rubbed the oil into it, it becomes non-stick. You cook a burger on a cast iron griddle, and all that happens is the juices stay on there. They don't burn. So now this burger is cooking and sizzling away in its juices. It is the most perfectly cooked burger you've ever had. If you want to do drumsticks or wings, just imagine, you remember how many times that you have to stand there with a spritzer. You know, you spritz water trying to stop your chicken going up in flames and the skin going black and getting burned. And if you're a man and you think it's very manly, sometimes the guys will even put beer in the spritzer because they think it tastes better. Who needs that? Cook your chicken wings, cook your drumsticks on a cast iron griddle. You can use a fajita griddle. You can even use a panini pan. But in this case, we're using our cast iron pizza griddle. You will get the tastiest, best. They won't go black. They won't get burned. They won't stick to the griddle. If you put maple, our lovely sort of maple chipotle sauce, or you put our beer barbecue sauce on them, it goes caramelized. It cooks. It doesn't burn. Absolutely, I'm a total convert to cooking on cast on the barbecue. Sorry, I talked much too much about that one. But there's a new recipe on this page as well, on page 39 at the top. Those sliders, those pulled pork sliders, have been so popular since we launched them in January. I cannot believe they're in the top 10 in their first year. We launched them this year, they're in the top 10. You've got to try cast iron cooking, but you've got to try those items at the top of those pulled pork sliders. Comes a nice little recipe package over there. Great deal, fabulous flavour. People love them, and you can now start to find in your regular grocery store the little tiny slider buns. People love those things. Hey, I've just turned the page. I'm on page 40 and 41, and there it is. There's the fajita pan, our #1 bestseller so far this year. That fajita pan, it comes with the seasonings. Our company name is Gourmet Village. We're not a cast iron company. We're not a ceramic company. I'm not a dip chiller company. We are a developer. We're a person who creates. Developer sounds terrible. We create the most incredible recipes. And yes, we'd like to give you the tools or the accessories to make it more successful, to make you present them better. We make it easy for you. So by selling you this nice fajita pan, sure, it's a big, heavy fajita pan, but the real magic in there is our fajita seasonings. What else is doing well this year? Surprise, the wok. We launched that stainless steel wok last year. It didn't do that well. It got missed in the catalogue. This year it's taken off. It's right up there in the top 20 best-selling products. A stainless steel wok is the most versatile thing you can put on the barbecue. Do wings in that. If you don't have a cast iron griddle, you do your wings inside a wok. You can do honey glazed wings. All the sauce stays in there. You can do a wok cooking on there. Try doing shrimps. Look on our website for a recipe for doing shrimps in that wok. You won't believe how good it is. Hey, beer can chicken. That was a huge whopper a couple of years ago. Still sells like crazy. That little stainless steel rack that holds a beer can was an instant hit. The seasonings are great. You rub it on. The best seller is still a classic. Yes, we have the blackened Cajun. Yes, we have the maple chipotle. But if you really want the best flavor, always go classic. Remember Coca-Cola years ago? They tried to change Coca-Cola Classic. You don't do things like that. When you've got a good recipe, enjoy it. What's my favorite? What's the best one? No brainer. The classic beer can chicken seasoning. The stainless steel rack holds most regular beer cans. An aluminum beer can holds it really well. How do these things work, if nobody's ever told you? By putting the liquid inside that can and Obviously, you drink half the beer to make sure it's good beer, so enjoy that. You mix up our seasoning with it. You've almost got like a sort of a spicy beer ketchupy sauce filling half of that beer can. As your chicken cooks, that liquid steams and boils, so you've always got steam and moisture, lovely beer-infused steam, inside the chicken. You get the moistest, can't even say it, that's a funny word, the most moist, there's a better way of saying it. You get a really juicy chicken when you do beer can chicken. What we brought out last Christmas, and it came out very late, it wasn't in their catalogue, so it got a bit missed. A couple of stores who tried it, so it became their instant #1 bestseller, was the flame-proof, that chicken roaster. It's a special ceramic which is kind of shock-proof. Doesn't mean you can drop it and do silly things, but it can take the changes in temperature by putting it in the oven in the house, or you can put it on the barbecue. It's a black ceramic, but I still suggest caution. I don't think we should be trying to see, can I go from hot to cold and cold to hot? No. Use common sense. Bring a thing up warm, from warm to hot, gently warm it up on the barbecue. If you're putting it in the oven, do it gently. None of the things in your kitchen should be tested. The more you do hot to cold on anything, eventually it will reduce the life of them. These things are too good to risk wrecking them. So get a little bit of care. Don't throw them in the dishwasher. Don't bounce them around. Hand wash. Treat them carefully. Don't go from boiling hot kitchen to ice cold marble countertop, whatever. Don't bang them. Don't try to chip them. They do need a bit of TLC. Seasonings from around the world, page 40 and 45. Rather than calling some of these different collections, we put them all together this time. What are we #1 at? We blend herbs and spices to make fabulous flavours. It's probably one of the best things we do, one of the things we're best at. There were 3 we launched in the spring, the Caribbean curry, the Jamaican jerk, and the jambalaya. What's my favourite in there? The jambalaya, which actually is the paella, a spicy paella. Look at that lovely picture there with the metal tray with the spicy paella. It is an absolute, if you've been to the islands, those all-day buffets you get in the Caribbean, or you're getting, I remember when I was in Dominican Republic, they had this all-day paella pot, which must have been 6 feet across, with a guy putting a fire underneath. Whatever time of day, you go and get an ice-cold beer, and you get this lovely steaming dish full of paella. I can't ever go back, I'm sorry. I mean, it's just phenomenal. I'm sorry, I'm getting carried away. These seasonings make it easy to recreate those sort of things you remember. What's new for this season? Meatloaf. That's a classic. Everybody loves meatloaf. Where on earth do you get the recipe for meatloaf these days? A really nice, flavourful meatloaf recipe. This one we've jazzed up. You can see it's even wrapped in sort of a beautiful seasoned ham, like a Parma ham. It's wonderful. And simple roasted potatoes. What makes them so good? We're actually using polenta. Polenta, which is ground cornmeal, not flour. So actually it's gluten, doesn't have any gluten added. I'm not going to say gluten-free. The tests for gluten-free these days are getting tougher and tougher. When you actually do lab tests on them, if it's got less than, is it 0.5 per million, there's actual formula that's not suddenly in my head. No, this is not gluten-free. But for Linda, who helped develop this company, for many people we know, gluten is an allergy where you are cautious. It is not directly life-threatening. I'm not trying to become a doctor, whatever. If you want something which is rapidly 99.9% gluten-free, then most of these recipes are done that way. Can I guarantee that they are certified less than 0.0? No, they're not. So the roasted potatoes, by taking out the flour, using polenta, you can make a good, fabulous, crispy, crunchy roast potatoes. And most people we know who have celiac disease, who have gluten allergies, do not find a problem with these at all.